Hello, I'm Michael Diamond, and you're watching Muscle Central. Okay, in the weeks leading up to the 2020 Honor Classic in Ohio, I was somewhat critical of Big Ramy. I was critical of him in my assessment of the competition. Uh, Let me just go back and rehash some of the things I was saying. One thing I was saying was that after 6 years on the pro scene, he needs to do something special now. He needs to come in with the conditioning we've all been waiting for. Because every time he competes, there's this Ramy hype train, and after a while, people just start to write him off. Well, it hasn't happened in all this time. It's probably never going to happen. I was also critical of the fact that he makes a habit of jumping from coach to coach. He doesn't stick with anybody for any length of time, and that could be an issue. And I also question whether being able to hit the conditioning is a mental thing that's holding him back. Now, this Auto Classic, just before the competition, it was revealed that he was working with Chad Nichols. People hear that. Chad Nichols is known for getting his athletes in top shape, top conditioning. Maybe it's going to happen this time. The death face that we saw a few days before the show, come showtime, his conditioning was good. Not what we wanted it to be. It was probably close to or being on par with his conditioning for the 27 Mr. Olympia, where he placed second. I personally think his best condition might have been the 2013 New York Pro. Now let's get into the heart of this video. He did not produce what we were hoping he would produce when he walked on stage for the Ohio show. Now, gotta keep in mind, this was the first show that Chad was working with him on, and the truth of the matter is, it's hard to nail it on the head the first time around. Whatever protocols he uses for one athlete might work for the other one, but it might not. I'm talking as far as substances and what you're putting in your body as far as food makes the big difference. And not everybody responds the same way to the substances that are being used and to what you're consuming just before the show. That can make the difference major difference on how you look on stage. So like I said, it was his first time working with Chad. You have to give Chad some leeway. He needs time to learn his body. Now, obviously, we all know that the Arnold Australia has been postponed / canceled, but word was that he was looking a lot different leading up to that show before it was canceled. Maybe Chad would figure out what went wrong in his first outing with Ramy, and he was able to correct it. We will never know because the show never took place. Now, I'm not writing Ramy off. I still think there's a possibility for him to do something special and come in the way we want to see him come in and really wow the audience. This all depends now on his mindset. I'm sure he wasn't happy with his placing in the Arnold, Ohio, although third place in a stacked lineup like it was is nothing to look down upon. I mean, it was a good placing. If it was anybody else, you said, wow, that's a good placing. But we expected more from him. Obviously, he wasn't happy with it because he made a video apologizing to his fans. Like I mentioned before, I questioned his mental outlook. Now, if he has issues with his psyche, I don't know how this third place finish, which we know is obviously was disappointing to him, I don't know how that's going to affect him, and the fact that he couldn't compete in Australia because there was no show, how that's going to play out in his head. And now we have another issue. He hasn't qualified for the Olympia. We don't know what's going to happen come Olympia time with all this hoopla that's going on. I'm not going to get into it. You know what I'm talking about. So we don't know what's going to happen with the Olympia as far as I think everything will be squared away by that time, but the amount of pro shows that are available to qualify could be limited. If it goes to an invite, most likely we get an invite, but that's up in the air also, what's going to happen. So all this might be playing on his psyche. I don't know how he's going to deal with it mentally. He needs to stay with the coach he has now, with the guru he has now. Like I said, he has a habit of jumping from one to another. He's not happy with what's going on with his placings when he's working with one, so he goes to the next one, and then to the next one, and to the next one. He has to understand that this is Chad's first outing with him. So he needs time to really learn Ramy's body. He has to understand that what happened after that was out of his control as far as postponement of shows, missing another opportunity to possibly qualify for the Olympia because of this situation that's going on. All this is out of his control. He needs to be able to put that aside, keep focused, don't flip coaches again, give Chad Nichols time to learn his body and learn what he needs to do to really dial him in. Ramy can still come through and be the Ramy that we've been hoping to see all along. He just needs to stay focused. Don't let these little setbacks throw him off kilter. Don't start saying, oh shit, this coach didn't get me in the shape I wanted to get into. I'm going to go and try another one again. Stick with him. Give him an opportunity to learn your body. And let's see what happens. That's about it for this video. If you agree or disagree with what I've said, please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share and by all means subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. And once again, this is Michael Diamond. And I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.